Hey, what's up everybody? Adam here. Today I wanted to take you guys on a little tour of the studio, show you guys what's on the workbench, what I'm working on today. Right now I'm working on this project. This is a revision of this project here. So this was this one. At the time that we did these, we didn't have all the materials worked out yet. The planting design wasn't done, but now we have a plan. So we're going to go back and do that. Plus, in the process of that, we have new materials, but also there was some revisions. At first glance, it didn't seem like there was too much to be revised, but I ended up having to tear the entire model apart, basically start over. So you can kind of see some of those original renders. We had a bluestone material in here. All that got changed. That's all going to now be reclaimed granite. So we're going to do reclaimed materials like granite and cobblestone. The slide's now going to go under the grotto and through it and come down. It's not going to be quite as long. So that got changed. This is going to now be an acrylic bar top with a little bit different acrylic seating and an acrylic wall on this side of the pool as well. So that's going to be pretty interesting. The bridge over the koi pond is staying, but it also got tweaked. The fire pit is now a sunken fire pit. Our bocce ball court is now running parallel with the house with some steps coming down to it to help accommodate for some grade here and basically add another layer or another tier to the patio space, which is pretty interesting. So some stuff in the front changed as well. This is all going to be reclaimed granite and reclaimed cobble now. I rebuilt a new wood material here, and I'll show you that in a second. The koi pond changed a little bit in shape. All of the planting material is getting actualized now. So all the plants here are coming out. So one of the other big things I had to do on this project in general was to create a custom stone veneer material for the house itself. So all this stone veneer that you see was something that I created. I used a program called Omni Tiles and hand drew out this pattern. So I drew the pattern from a sample board for the veneer. So I was able to recreate the pattern that was used here. So this was the original. You can see it's a little more yellow, but in actuality, it looks more like what we have now. So this is the new material. I used the same pattern, but what I was able to do is have the client go out and take these photos instead of the old ones. And these are some high resolution images of each individual stone. And that way, all of the stones are roughly the same resolution. So I was able to crop those out in Photoshop and cut each one of these stones out. And then these became what I plugged into the pattern here. And we ended up with it looking like this this is the pattern filled in once and then tiled twice, 3 times. And I ended up going with tiling 4 times. Right. So I plugged in all these materials here, and those are what drive filling in these shapes. So that was the material that we created for the project. This was the updated material. So that's going in the new revision as well. And here you can see the difference between the original and the updated revision. So I can toggle back and forth. Again, you can see the bocce ball, the new steps here. So I think that looks better, more coherent, adds another level to the plan. Required some more boulder work to come down, and a little bit different up top as well. Did some bigger stepping stones down here, which I think looks more befitting, especially now that we are going to be using more reclaimed materials. And for the driveway, you can see the difference here. Now, I don't have the materials in yet. I need to figure out the reclaimed granite material and how I'm going to work that. But one of the big things that I was asked to do was to get the wood here. So this was the original wood material that we had in the render. They chose a wood that looked a lot different. So this is the wood that I was asked to try to emulate in 3D and kind of see how knotty that wood is. So definitely doesn't look like what we had originally, but this is what I came up with. So I think I got pretty close on it. So this is what we were trying to emulate, and this is what I ended up coming up with. I think this was in the shadow over here, which is why it looks a little bit darker, but some of the reclaimed granite look. It's kind of like this. Also, in this picture, this is kind of what we're trying to emulate here, something like this, or maybe something like this. So kind of rough granite material, nice and chunky. So I have to figure out how to kind of emulate the natural roughness to the stone. So I don't know whether I'm going to try to do that in 3D or if I'm going to try to drive that with textures. But I feel like I have to try to do something besides what I have now is way too clean. These are just really placeholders. Here you can also see the sunken fire pit and the koi pond. So the koi pond I am building in 3ds Max. And then I'm replacing all of the boulders in 3ds Max with scanned 3D boulders. And then I'm going to figure out how to do some kind of nicer cobble, reclaimed cobble as well. I have a project in 3ds Max I did for Matt Heiner, the artist. And the bottom of this pond is all done with scanned boulders that were meticulously hand placed over a couple screen shares with Matt Heiner, and he walked me through exactly where he wanted each boulder. I may borrow some of the boulders in the koi pond here and reuse those in this new project just to kind of save some time. But you can see how realistic they look with all the scanned boulders, and I have some koi in there. So I was toying with this idea of animating the koi coming out and breaking the surface and then going back down. So I animated this ripple here breaching, and if I get at a low angle, it actually looks pretty realistic. I may render that out just for something to throw on social media. But basically with this, just the idea is to kind of borrow some of the boulders here, kind of rip some of these, copy and paste some of these into the file that I'm working on, bring this model over into 3ds Max, and then start to replace all of the boulder work in here with higher resolution boulders. These are just boulders that I created from CAD blocks, and they're super simple. I used the erode plugin in SketchUp and just turned a basic CAD block into something that, has a little bit more organic bumpiness. But overall, these aren't boulders that I really want to use in a finished project. They look pretty hokey overall, in my opinion. We also have some more of this runoff that's being captured up here that is being dropped all the way down and off the property. So this was a little bit tricky. I actually modeled the stream bed first, and then I'm going to come back and just fill this in and scatter some boulders and small rocks in through here to add some more realism. But before I even built the terrain, I built this stream bed, and kind of see that it's flowing the way that it should as far as the banking goes. So I did that, and then I used this as I built the terrain. So I built the terrain basically around it, as you can see. So the grotto is something that we're still working on. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to probably end up doing something like mega scans for this as well. And I think what we can do is kind of like how they do these in real life, where they come in and kind of do this faux rock sculpting and stuff, and use a lot of like gunite and frame it out with some rebar and wire, and then build the grotto out of that. So I'm going to try to emulate that as much as I can, and we're going to use probably some of these cliff objects here, and I'll just scale them down. I think that should work pretty good. So that's the thinking. They end up kind of looking like these. Maybe I can work with those and change the color so it's not a clay material and looks a little more like a natural rock with more like granite in it. But yeah, so I was looking at that and thinking that might be the best solution. So I have to kind of these right here, stuff like this is really the Nordic beach rocks and stuff I thought would work well to build up around the walls, the side, and then the top is going to kind of be a little mounded, just like a green roof essentially. But we're still figuring out the grotto, so this is all I didn't design this project. This is all designed by the team at Reed Everett. So this is their project, but we work together on figuring out some stuff, and we'll jump into a screen share, and start to work out some of the more complex details. Here's the 2D as well, but here's some of the things that we're trying to emulate. So I still have a bit of work to do to try to perfect the look of a lot of this stuff. So a lot of natural pollinator stuff that we're going to do all in through here. That's going to be natural seed pollinator. And then doing the screen planting here with some ornamental trees, deciduous stuff in through here with evergreens on the back side. And then just some massings in through here. Some ferns, perennials, native perennials in the bioswale there. Some sedge, some white spire birches are going to be one of the big features here as well. So we're going to kind of have those framing in the front. And out here at the driveway entrance, Kentucky coffee tree is another one that's interesting here. And here's the rooftop, some grasses, native grasses, prairie dropseed, blue stems, ornamental onion, blazing star in through here, which will be nice, liatris, some echinacea, some rudbeckia, some falsa indigo, some native sunflower stuff, and we got some Joe Pye weed and butterfly weed. So that's awesome. More, all that good pollinator stuff, essentially. So lots of birds and butterflies will be happy once this all gets installed. There's a dog run here on the side, which has to go in as well. But yeah, it's quite the project here. So yep, that's what's on the studio bench today. That's what I'm working on. All right, so anyway, that's the studio tour. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Hope you guys all have a great day. Bye for now. You want to see the project Daddy's doing?
Yeah,
What do you think of it?
I like it.
Big project, huh?
Yeah,
A lot of work.
yeah.
Okay, so watch this. I made it so that this fish, watch this fish comes up and then goes back down. Like a fish coming out of the water and eating a little bug. Is that pretty cool?
Yeah, but then
Do you see the render over here? What do you think?
I like it.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Say bye.